But we begin in Ottawa and an exclusive interview with a key eyewitness to Michael Zehaf-Bibeau's attack on Parliament earlier this week. Earlier this week, an Ontario Provincial Police report revealed the RCMP missed opportunities to stop the gunman. They singled out the actions of a woman who alerted police and said she slowed officers down. Well, now Crystal Peters is telling her side of the story to the CBC. Now you can see Peters running with a baby stroller to tell a Mountie a gunman was headed towards Parliament Hill. The officer then drives off slowly, following a car commandeered by Zehaf-Bibeau as Peters, circled here in red, walks away.
I told her that there's a shooter out there, and I asked her if I could go into her car for safety. So that's when she said yes, and she went on her radio. I don't remember the message that was said. Right when she was basically announcing it on the radio, that's when the black limousine pulled up.
And Evan Solomon joins us now. Evan, great work getting that interview. And what's the significance of what she told you?
Well, we have been waiting to hear about a woman, frankly, who the RCMP have essentially said was responsible for the slow response of that one officer in that famous video that you've just seen, who saw Zehaf-Bibeau hijack the car and head toward Parliament Hill. And this week during the report, we all asked, why did that officer follow so slowly behind Zehaf-Bibeau? Why didn't she stop him earlier? Why didn't she ram the car? And the RCMP essentially said, well, there is this woman in a stroller fighting to get into the car. Well, who was that woman? Well, today we'll reveal for the first time that it is a 35-year-old woman named Crystal Peters. She's from the South Shore of Montreal. On October 22nd, she was visiting her husband here in Ottawa, who was working construction. She's walking her baby just north of the War Memorial Inn. She hears the shots. She says she actually saw Nathan Cirillo get killed. She panics. She's scared. She thinks to herself, where do I go to get protected? Parliament Hill, there must be officers there. You see her on the video, as you showed, sprinting up, and she tells this officer, there's a shooter. There's a shooter, and the officer goes after. Well, what she tells me is that she felt kind of abandoned. She didn't know where to go when the officer left. But even more importantly, her testimony contradicts what the RCMP said. So let me show you first. Here's what the RCMP said about this encounter between Crystal Peters and their officer on Parliament Hill. Listen to this.
We had about a 28-second time to react to it. At that time, our officer was trying to prevent the lady that was trying to get in the back seat of her car. So she was fighting off that individual as she spotted Zehaf-Bibeau. And as you can see from the video, her door from her PC was not even closed by the time that she went after him.
So the RCMP, Ian, says the officer was busy preventing her from trying to get in, fighting off Crystal Peters. So I asked Crystal Peters, is that how you remember it? Not at all. Check out what she says.
No, I wasn't trying to get into her car. I wouldn't want to be in her car when she is going after him. For sure, I wanted to be as far away as possible. I just wanted to be somewhere safe. So as the black limousine pulled up, and her door was still open because she was about to help me get into the car before it pulled up, that's when she said, he's there, I'm going after him. And so, you know, I completely understand. She has a job to do.
So, Ian, what's extraordinary is she says, I wasn't trying to fight with her. I didn't want to get into her car at all. She told me that she was going after the shooter, and I kind of was left there, and then she's told me to run around the back. You actually see her on the video running around the back. So here's a couple of things that are just extraordinary. She never got help from the RCMP afterwards. In other words, that officer left her there. No other officer came to try to help her. No one was radioed. There's a young mother with her baby on Parliament Hill who's scared. No one came to her aid. She ran behind Parliament until a construction worker helped her and left. And how about this? Even as this report came out, The RCMP and the OPP never once spoke to her. They never asked about her eyewitness testimony. They never asked what she said. They simply released this report and talked about her without ever contacting her. The first time she's ever spoken publicly about this was yesterday when she and I spoke. After we spoke, she phoned the RCMP to give her account. The RCMP has confirmed to us that she did speak to them, but she has never formally given testimony to any security agency. And this is her story, contradicting the RCMP for the first time revealed today.
Well, as I said, nice work and a really interesting perspective, Evan. More on the National tonight, and of course, you'll be on the House on CBC Radio tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks.